is humanity's greatest weapon? Nuclear warfare? A knife? A pen? I believe that it is faith. It is a double-edged sword that acts as something that can make us infinitely stronger, but it can also destroy us. It can be the rope that strings bonds together, or the very knife that severs it. Cliché? Same here. That's exactly what I thought as I wrote those very lines into my speech. But think about it. What has us all here alive and listening to this speech? Faith. It's small, but it's one of the most fundamental elements of our lives. And so at this point, you must be wondering what this 15-year-old kid is doing talking about this huge abstract topic of faith. And well, to answer that question, I'm here today to share with you why I feel that faith is so very important in my life. Before I kick off into my speech, here are some things about myself. I'm 15, I love basketball, and like every other 15-year-old on this planet, I have a hell load of trust issues. And it starts from the most fundamental issue of trusting whether my K-drama is going to be released on time, all the way to trusting myself and the people around me. You see, I love building these huge, huge walls around myself to protect myself from trusting, making sure I have no expectations whatsoever because no disappointment, and then being like this super strong person that never breaks. Now, let me rewind for us a little. In secondary 1, we were playing this match. 27 June, 2018. We were 30 minutes into the game. I had this golden opportunity. A free lane. Crossover, shoot! Okay, well, at least that's what I imagined in my head, but the shot never really happened because I fell instead. Flat to the ground, hearing a pop sound from my knee. I tried standing back on court only to fall back again. I could not walk, literally. Things just happened so fast. They took me to the hospital. The doctor said I tore this super important ligament known as the ACL. I was out from all matches that year. This essentially meant I could not walk, run, or even bend my knee. Okay, mind you, at this point, I did not care that my K-dramas were getting released late. So I remember thinking to myself, as a 13-year-old dejected kid, lying on bed, crying. And as I soaked my pillows wet, I remember this thought that hit me. Why did I think I would never fall? Why was it that the only thought that occurred to me was making that basket? And I fell asleep to that very thought. I was never really able to answer that question because, like every other time, my wonderful coping mechanisms kicked in again. And I built those walls again, higher than before. Rehabilitation was painful. Even more so because I refused to trust the people around me. I refused to rely on the people around me. I refused to have faith. And so one night during that period, I remember I was going to bed once again, just thinking of the same thought, and my mom entered the room. And she lied down next to me. And she asked me, "Have I been a stranger to you for the past 13 years? And at that moment, I thought to myself, what the hell is she spewing? Teenagers. And then she proceeded with, "You may be strong, but you'll only go to sleep with the faith that you'll wake up tomorrow morning." I hesitated for a second. What did she mean? It was a simple reminder to the lost me that even in the darkness of the night, these small elements of faith are what keeps us going. That although today was not that good a day, maybe tomorrow when we wake up, it will be a better day. And so at 11 p.m., with a major brain lag, only one word resounded to me: faith. It was my unseen, underlying trust that I would not fall. And come to think of it, the most important faith that we all have is the trust that in the next 0.001 seconds, we will not stop breathing. Because if we did not have this confidence, this belief, this trust that we would not stop breathing, we'd all be dead. So yes, Unlike a very model student, the next day, I went to school and paid attention in no class whatsoever after this realization, and went home and broke down in front of my mom. I cried, knowing that my mom was there for me. I had faith in her. And so if anything happened, my walls came down. I had faith that she would take care of me, that she would be there for me. And can I just say that, wow, things were so much easier because now I could finally share my feelings with someone. No matter how much we want to run from it, the reality is that all we want is for someone to trust us and for someone to have our backs, and for that someone or something to trust us too. I'd like to take a moment now to say that faith, to me at least, isn't something that can be given a rigid definition to. I think it's more of an emotion that's given the meaning trust, confidence, loyalty, and even love to some extent. And although, yes, this sounds super positive and super good looking, we all know that trust issues don't just go away if K-dramas get released on time. I still have an issue trusting, and I'm so sure that my best friends will agree with that statement 110%. But if there's anything I learned, it was the fact that if not for my friends and family who had so much hope and faith in me, I would not be functioning. And so only with this faith that my mom had in me, that my friends had in me, was I able to get through my recovery. I'll never forget what my friend Eunice said to me the day I could finally start running again. I believe in you. Her faith is what gave me the will to get better, do better. This ACL experience reminded me just how important faith is in our lives. So only with this faith that my friends had in me was I able to get through one of the darkest points in my life. And so as my friend JQ once said, the stronger ones are not the ones that believe they can do it on their own, but rather the ones that appreciate and understand the value of having faith in something or someone. Faith, a simple word, but brings a hurricane of impact in someone's life. Although many a time it's challenging and it's not easy to have faith, what cost is not having it worth it? To wrap it all up, I stand here today not to give a concluding statement, but to merely remind us that faith still exists in this crazy world. So if you ask me, in this 15-year-old point in my life, what faith is, it is hoping that things will get better, trusting that someone will have my back, and believing in myself. Faith.